Before this day begins, before the noise, before the pressure, before the expectations, take a deep breath. Because today we come before God with honesty. And maybe this is how you feel this morning. Tired, confused, weakened, trying to hold yourself together while silently asking, Lord, why does none of this make sense? There are moments in life when your heart feels overwhelmed, when you try to stay strong, but inside you feel like you're sinking. You pray, yet nothing seems to change. You trust, yet the situation looks worse. You believe, yet your strength feels small. This is exactly where Psalm 73 meets us. Psalm 73 is not written from a place of perfect faith. It begins in struggle. It begins with questions. It begins with a heart that almost gave up. The psalmist looked around and saw things that didn't make sense. He saw the wicked prosper. He saw injustice. He saw people who ignored God living comfortably. And for a moment, his heart nearly slipped. Maybe that's you today. You look at your life and wonder, why is this happening? Why is this so hard? Why does it feel like I'm the only one fighting battles? But Psalm 73 does something powerful. It shows us the turning point. The psalmist says his feet had almost stumbled until he entered the presence of God. And that's what we are doing right now. We are entering God's presence before entering the day. Let's pray. Father God, this morning I come to you as I am, not pretending to be strong, not pretending to understand everything. You see my heart. You see the parts of me that feel weak. You see the silent disappointments I don't talk about. You see the questions I don't say out loud. Lord, there are things happening in my life that don't make sense. Doors that closed unexpectedly. Delays that feel unfair. Battles that seem longer than I expected. I confess that sometimes I look around and wonder why others seem to have it easier. But today I choose to come back to you. Your word says, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. And Father, that is my declaration this morning. My heart may feel weak, but you are my strength. My mind may feel overwhelmed, but you are steady. My understanding may fail, but you never fail. When I don't understand your timing, help me trust your heart. When I don't see progress, help me trust your process. When I feel alone in the struggle, remind me you are near. Lord, I don't want temporary comfort. I want eternal perspective. Psalm 73 teaches me that what I see is not the full story. What I feel is not the final truth. What looks stable without you is not lasting. So today, shift my focus. Instead of comparing, help me trust. Instead of questioning, help me surrender. Instead of fearing, help me believe. If my heart feels like it's failing under pressure, hold it steady. If my strength feels small, be my strength. If my faith feels thin, sustain it. God, I don't want to live by what I see. I want to live by who you are. You are faithful even when life is confusing. You are present even when answers are delayed. You are working even when I cannot see it. This morning, I refuse to let discouragement define me. I refuse to let comparison poison me. I refuse to let confusion control me. Instead, I choose trust. Trust that you see the whole picture. Trust that you are shaping something greater. Trust that this season is not wasted. Father, anchor my heart in you before this day begins. Let my strength come from your presence, not from my circumstances. If my heart tries to slip into doubt today, pull me back. If anxiety tries to rise, quiet it. If weakness tries to define me, remind me, you are my strength. I don't have to understand everything to trust you. I don't have to feel strong to stand firm, because you are the strength of my heart, and you will not fail me. There is something honest about Psalm 73 that makes it so powerful. It doesn't pretend that doubt never existed. It doesn't hide the frustration. It doesn't skip over the confusion. It shows the internal battle. The psalmist admits that he envied others. He questioned God's justice. He wondered if staying faithful was even worth it. That kind of transparency is important because it reminds us that struggling does not mean you are faithless. Struggling means you are human. And maybe this is the quiet tension in your heart today. You love God. You trust Him. but you're tired of not understanding. You're tired of praying for clarity and receiving silence. Tired of asking for breakthrough and seeing delay. Tired of trying to stay strong when your emotions feel unstable. Psalm 73 reveals something profound. Confusion becomes dangerous only when we process it away from God. The turning point came when the psalmist entered the sanctuary, when he shifted from analyzing life to seeking God. And that shift changes everything. Because clarity does not always come from explanations. It comes from perspective. When you stand too close to your problem, it looks overwhelming. But when you step into God's presence, the view changes. The problem may still exist, but your foundation becomes stronger. Let's continue praying. Lord, I admit that sometimes I try to figure everything out on my own. I replay situations in my mind. I analyze conversations. I search for reasons. I ask why over and over again. But today, I surrender my need to understand everything. You are God and I am not. Your ways are higher than my ways. Your vision is wider than my sight. You see tomorrow while I struggle with today. When my thoughts spiral into comparison, reset them. When my heart leans toward discouragement, correct it. When doubt whispers that this is pointless, silence it. Teach me to trust you even when life looks unfair. Because Psalm 73 reminds me that what appears stable without you is temporary. What seems successful without you is fragile. What looks easy on the outside may be empty on the inside. Help me stop measuring my life against someone else's journey. My calling is different. My timing is different. My process is different. And you are shaping something in me that comparison cannot see. Lord, strengthen me in the unseen places. Strengthen me when I wake up and feel heavy. Strengthen me when I smile in public but struggle in private. Strengthen me when I am tempted to give up quietly. You are not absent in my confusion. You are not silent in my delay. You are not failing me in this process. Even when I feel weak, you remain strong. Even when my heart feels unstable, you remain steady. Even when my understanding collapses, your faithfulness stands firm. Anchor me in that truth. Let my trust not be based on visible results but on your unchanging character. Because feelings shift, circumstances change, but you do not. If today brings unexpected challenges, remind me that you go before me. If today brings discouragement, remind me that you are near. If today stretches my patience, remind me that you are working. I don't want surface-level faith. I want rooted faith. Faith that survives confusion. Faith that stands in weakness. Faith that chooses trust over explanation. When my heart begins to fail under pressure, be my strength again. Not just once, not just occasionally, but continually. Teach me that weakness is not the end, it is an invitation. An invitation to lean deeper. An invitation to depend more fully. An invitation to discover that your strength carries me further than my own ever could. Today, I choose trust over tension, surrender over striving, faith over fear. You are the strength of my heart. There is a powerful shift that happens in Psalm 73. It begins with doubt. It wrestles with confusion, but it ends with confidence. And that transformation is not because circumstances changed. It changed because perspective changed. The psalmist moves from saying, "I almost slipped," to boldly declaring, "Yet I am always with you." That word "yet" is powerful. It means despite the confusion, despite the weakness, despite the questions, God was still there. And the same is true for you this morning. Despite what you feel, God is near. Despite what you don't understand, God is working. Despite how weak your heart may feel, God has not stepped away. Let this sink in. Your weakness does not cancel His faithfulness. Sometimes we think we must feel strong to be secure. But Psalm 73 shows us something deeper. Security is not found in emotion. It is found in relationship. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. What a picture. Not you holding onto God with exhausted strength, but God holding you. When your grip weakens, His does not. When your heart trembles, His hand remains steady. Let's continue praying. Father, Thank you that even when my heart feels unstable, you are steady. Even when I feel unsure, you are certain. Even when I feel like I'm barely holding on, you are holding me. Remind me today that I am not walking alone. When anxiety tries to tighten its grip, remind me that your hand is stronger. When discouragement whispers lies, remind me that your truth is louder. When exhaustion makes me question everything, remind me that you are sustaining me. Lord, I confess that sometimes I equate visible success with security. I think if everything looks stable, then I am safe. But Psalm 73 teaches me that true security is not in what I see. It is in who holds me. You hold me through uncertainty, through unanswered prayers, through seasons that feel unfair. You are not intimidated by my questions. You are not disappointed in my weakness. You are not distant in my confusion. Instead, you guide me. The psalm continues, you guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will take me into glory. That means this season has direction. This delay has purpose. This struggle has shaping power. This weakness has meaning. Nothing is random in your hands. Father, if you are guiding me, then I do not need to rush ahead. If you are leading me, I do not need to force doors open. If you are sustaining me, I do not need to fear collapse. Even when I don't understand the path, I can trust the guide. Build that confidence in me today. Not arrogance, not denial of reality, but deep, settled confidence that you are in control. Let my heart declare boldly, whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. If everything else feels uncertain, you are certain. If everything else shifts, you remain. Strip away the illusion that I need perfect circumstances to have peace. Teach me that peace comes from your presence. When my heart feels like it's failing, remind me that this is not the end of the story. Remind me that weakness is not defeat, it is dependence. And dependence leads to strength. Today, I rise not because I feel powerful, but because you are powerful. I move forward not because I understand everything, but because I trust you completely. You are the strength of my heart, not temporarily, not conditionally, but forever, and that truth will carry me through this day. As Psalm 73 reaches its final declaration, it does not end in weakness. It ends in nearness. But as for me, it is good to be near God. That is the conclusion. Not riches, not explanations, not immediate answers, but nearness. And that is what will carry you through this day. Because when God is near, confusion loses its power. When God is near, weakness is no longer threatening. When God is near, fear cannot dominate your thoughts. This is where your morning shifts from prayer to declaration. You are not stepping into this day fragile. You are stepping into this day held. You are not stepping into this day alone. You are stepping into this day guided. You are not stepping into this day uncertain. You are stepping into this day anchored. Let's declare it boldly. Father, as this day begins, I declare that my strength does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from you. If challenges arise, you are my stability. If unexpected news comes, you are my peace. If pressure increases, you are my endurance. I will not allow fear to narrate my day. I will not allow comparison to poison my confidence. I will not allow confusion to weaken my faith, because you are the strength of my heart. Today, I reject the lie that I am behind. I reject the lie that I am forgotten. I reject the lie that you have failed me. You have never failed me. Even in seasons I did not understand, you were shaping me. Even in moments I thought were setbacks, you were protecting me. Even in silence, you were working. Lord, give me the awareness of your presence in every moment today. When I walk into rooms, let me walk in with quiet confidence. When I face decisions, let me choose with wisdom. When I feel pressure, let me respond with peace. Guard my heart from discouragement. Guard my mind from anxious spirals. Guard my spirit from subtle doubt. If my heart begins to feel weak again today, remind me immediately, you are my strength, not my achievements, not other people's approval, not visible outcomes. You teach me to pause before reacting. Teach me to pray before assuming. Teach me to trust before fearing. Let my life today reflect someone who is held by God. And if I encounter something that does not make sense, I will remember Psalm 73. I will remember that confusion is not the final chapter. I will remember that perspective changes everything when I enter your presence. So I enter this day intentionally near to you, near in my thoughts, near in my decisions, near in my reactions, near in my faith, because it is good to be near God. It is safe to be near God. It is powerful to be near God. And when my heart fails, you remain my strength. Today I walk forward in that truth. There is one final truth in Psalm 73 that changes everything. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Not just strength, portion. That word is powerful. A portion is what sustains you. A portion is what belongs to you. A portion is what satisfies when everything else runs empty. And the psalmist is saying something radical. Even if my body weakens, even if my emotions collapse, even if my understanding falls apart, God Himself is enough for me. This is deeper than situational faith. This is not God. Fix this so I can feel better. This is God. Even if this doesn't change immediately, you are still enough. That kind of trust is unshakable. Let's continue praying from that place. Father, thank you that you are not just the one who gives strength. You are my strength. You are not just the one who provides peace. You are my peace. You are not just the one who blesses. You are my portion. If everything around me shifts, you remain. If opportunities change, you remain. If people disappoint me, you remain. If the plans fall apart, you remain. Teach my heart to rest in that permanence. So often, I look for stability in temporary things. I look for reassurance in outcomes. I look for confidence in visible progress. But Psalm 73 reminds me that the only permanent foundation is you. You are my portion forever. Not for a season. Not until things improve. Not only when life feels easy. Forever. That means today's struggle cannot outlast your faithfulness. Today's confusion cannot outlast your sovereignty. Today's weakness cannot outlast your strength. Lord, if my flesh feels tired today, renew it. If my heart feels heavy today, lift it. If my thoughts feel scattered today, steady them. But even before you change anything externally, change something internally. Strengthen my trust. Make my faith resilient. Make my spirit steady. Make my heart confident in you. I don't want a faith that depends on understanding. I want a faith that depends on your character. You are faithful. You are wise. You are near. You are enough. If this season is stretching me, let it stretch me toward you. If this delay is shaping me, let it shape me for something greater. If this weakness is humbling me, let it humble me into deeper dependence. Because dependence on you is not weakness, it is security. Today, I choose to measure my life differently. Not by how easy it looks. Not by how fast things move. Not by how others are doing. But by how close I am to you. And if I am near to you, I am safe. If I am guided by you, I am secure. If I am sustained by you, I am strong, even when I feel weak. Let this truth settle deeply into my spirit. My heart may fail, but you will not. My strength may run out, but yours will not. My understanding may collapse, but your wisdom stands firm. And because you are my portion forever, I do not need to panic in temporary seasons. Anchor that in me today. Let it quiet every restless thought. Let it calm every anxious question. Let it steady every trembling emotion. You are the strength of my heart, and that is enough for this moment. As we reflect again on Psalm 73, we see something beautiful. The psalmist did not receive a detailed explanation for his struggles. He received something better. He received God's presence, and that presence changed his footing. Earlier he said, "My feet had almost slipped, but by the end he is no longer slipping. He is standing." That is what happens when trust replaces confusion. You may not have every answer this morning. You may not see how everything will unfold. You may not know why the season feels the way it does, but you can stand. Not because the ground is stable, but because God is. Let this settle into your spirit right now. You are not barely surviving this season. You are being sustained through it. There is a difference. Survival feels fragile. Sustaining is intentional. God is intentionally holding you in this process. Let's pray once more before we move toward our closing. Father, thank you that my stability does not depend on how steady I feel. It depends on how faithful you are. When my emotions fluctuate, you remain constant. When my thoughts become uncertain, your promises remain sure. When my strength feels depleted, your power does not diminish. Today, I stand not on what I see, but on who you are. If pressure increases today, I will not collapse. If unexpected obstacles arise, I will not panic. If confusion attempts to return, I will not surrender to it. Because I remember what Psalm 73 teaches me. Perspective changes in your presence. So before this day fully unfolds, I anchor myself in you. Anchor my identity in you, not in success or failure. Anchor my peace in you, not in outcomes. Anchor my confidence in you, not in comparison. Remind me throughout this day that weakness is not my enemy. It is a reminder that I was never meant to carry everything alone. You are my strength, not just spiritually, but emotionally. Not just emotionally, but mentally. Not just mentally, but in every hidden place where I feel pressure. Guard me from quiet discouragement. Guard me from subtle envy. Guard me from believing that I am behind. Your timing is not late. Your guidance is not random. Your faithfulness is not temporary. Even if today stretches me, it will not break me. Even if today challenges me, it will not defeat me. Even if today humbles me, it will not destroy me. Because you are holding me. And when you hold me, I am secure. Let my words today reflect trust. Let my reactions reflect peace. Let my decisions reflect faith. If I feel weak again later, remind me immediately of this moment, this prayer, this truth. My heart may fail, but you will not. And that is why I can move forward with quiet confidence. Not loud confidence, not forced confidence, but deep, rooted confidence that comes from knowing you are near. I step into this day grounded. I step into this day guided. I step into this day strengthened. And I will remember, it is good to be near God. As we close this time of prayer, let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. The message of Psalm 73 is not that life suddenly becomes easy. It is that God remains faithful. The psalmist began overwhelmed. He questioned. He struggled. He almost slipped. But he ended anchored. Not because he understood everything. Not because his problems disappeared. But because he encountered God. And that is what changes everything. You may walk into a day that still has unanswered questions. You may still face situations that don't fully make sense. You may still feel moments of weakness. But now you walk in with perspective. You know that weakness is not the end of your story. You know that confusion is not proof of abandonment. You know that delay is not denial. God has not failed you. He did not fail you in the past. He is not failing you now. And he will not fail you tomorrow. When your heart feels unstable, he is steady. When your strength feels small, he is limitless. When your understanding collapses, his wisdom stands firm. So as you go forward, carry this declaration in your spirit. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Let that echo in your thoughts today. Let it silence fear. Let it calm anxiety. Let it steady comparison. Let it overpower doubt. You are not alone in your weakness. You are not forgotten in your confusion. You are not abandoned in your waiting. God is near, and it is good to be near him. If this prayer spoke to your heart, don't just move on, anchor it. Take a moment right now and type in the comments, God is the strength of my heart. Declare it, own it, believe it. And if you know someone who is feeling weak, confused, or overwhelmed, share this prayer with them today. You never know how one reminder of God's faithfulness can steady someone who is about to slip. Before you leave this moment, pause one more time. Breathe in slowly and remind yourself, I am held by God. Whatever waits for you today, conversations, decisions, pressures, responsibilities. None of it is bigger than the one who holds your heart. You are not walking into uncertainty alone. The same God who met you in this prayer will walk with you into every room, every challenge, every unseen battle. If weakness tries to return, whisper the truth again. God is my strength. Let this not be just a morning routine, but a daily surrender. Come back to this prayer whenever your heart feels overwhelmed. And remember, staying near to God is not a one-time moment. It is a daily choice. Stay anchored, stay trusting, stay near. Subscribe for daily prayers that strengthen your faith before the day begins. Let's build a habit of entering God's presence before entering the pressure of life. Remember, when your heart fails, God does not, and He never will.